Hey, balls deep. This is Jeff in New Jersey. How are you? I really like your show, but I'm going to get straight to the questions. What do you think of Robert Hernandez Heredia, formerly known as Fausto Carmona, and Juan Carlos Oviedo, formerly known as Leo Nunez? What should happen to these players now that they've been found out to be total frauds? They've been living a lie.
Well, thank you, Jeffrey. That's a good question. It's one that I've thought about. I've thought about it a lot for a lot of years. I don't have a problem with guys making up names to get out of Cuba or South America. I do the same thing. I'd give both of my crystals to play pro baseball. Hey, it's better than doing steroids like all these NFL players. Now I know what you're thinking. Baseball players do steroids too. You're right, but there's testing in place for HGH, and the NFL doesn't have that. That actually kind of brings up a good point, which is Barry Bonds and his steroid use. I was thinking about this guy because he's probably the biggest sociopath in the country. He's like a black Dick Cheney. If Barry Bonds grew up in Germany in the early 1900s, I guarantee you they would have won that Second World War. I guarantee you. Because he had a killer instinct that Hitler did not have. That may come off as insensitive. I don't know. Who can tell the future? But to answer your question, Balls Deep episode 39, real Latins, but with fake names, because they're real players. And you're talking about Leo Nunez is a closer, was the closer last year for the Marlins. Fausto Carmona, who's basically the number 2, supposed to be the number 1 starter for the Indians, always ends up as number 3 or 4. He'll have these great starts. He'll go to Yankee Stadium, throw 8 innings, walk 1 guy, have 5 strikeouts, and get 17 ground ball outs. And then the next start, he'll go to Kansas City, pitch 2 2/3 with 6 walks and a jack and 7 infield singles. He's a complete hit or miss kind of guy. You didn't really ask about the caliber of his pitching. You asked about his name change and that he's a fraud. I don't see that he's a fraud. He grows up in a third world country. He has access to different, education and different opportunities than we do. I don't really have a problem with the name change. The Leo Nunez guy you brought up, I think, has a bigger problem, which is Heath Bell is about to take his job. They just gave Heath Bell a bunch of money in Florida. They got a new stadium. He's about to take his job. So maybe he should have kept his old name and then he would have kept his old job. That's something that nobody ever thinks about. I don't know. That's the only reason I can think to keep your old name is because maybe some of your skills were also attached to it. I don't have any evidence for this, but I really don't have a major problem with guys changing their names. They're still real Latins, but they just have fake names. Thank you.